Okay, if you have been watching all of my videos, which, I mean, stupid thing to say if, because of course you have, and if you swim on a team and you've been wondering to yourself, man, this whole less is more thing just sounds like the greatest thing ever. Killing it today. But I don't think I can apply it to myself because it sounds like you got to train alone to do it, and I can't leave my team. Well, you're wrong. I'm going to tell you how you can apply it. Let's find out. Now, if you train on a team, I realize that you can't just show up to practice and be like, guys, I'm doing my own thing today, so I got this lane, but you guys are good over there. You do you, I'll do me. Good luck, swim different. Fire, man, just fire. Please stay with me. Don't go away. I'm getting to some good stuff. Hold on. Now, some of my videos may give you the impression that I think team practices are loaded with garbage yardage. And so I want to clarify that first. Yardage is only garbage if you do not have a purpose behind it. Except for, those really stupid sets. I'm sorry, like 100 100s. There's just no point to those. But for the most part, sets they can be very high quality, even if they appear to be garbage yardage on the surface, if you have a purpose. But the problem is so many swimmers don't have a purpose except what is spelled out on the whiteboard. And the whiteboard does not go through swimmer by swimmer and say, okay, this is your purpose, this is your purpose, this is your purpose, these are your goals, this is what you need to do, ready to go. No, you get a set like 9 300s, okay? And it says descend 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9. If that is all that is spelled out on the board, that is all those swimmers are going, it's just gonna be, okay, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, effort, go. And they're not going to think about, okay, how do I do my turns? How do I do my push-offs? What do I need to fix? My weaknesses on my strokes through this set as I do those descends. And so in that case, yeah, it's garbage yardage. It's like trying to hit a target that's way too far away with a shotgun. Some of the pellets might hit the mark, but most of it is just going to be wasted. And so you have to find your purpose in anything that you do. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to walk through some examples of sets that teams do that you can find, and how you can find purpose in those kinds of sets. Here we go. Let's start with warm-up. Now, different teams have different styles of warm-up. Masters teams tend to be pretty quick, like 1,000 warm-up, because they got to get going. Practice is only an hour. Club teams, it's not uncommon for warm-up to be over 2,000 before you get to the next set, which isn't even the main set. But regardless of what kind of warm-up you have, you've got to start off nice and slow, like you're dealing with a 3-year-old child. Your body is like a 3-year-old child, and you're telling it, okay, now remember, this is what we have to do today, okay? And let's go through the list of things that we have to do. You've got to start those first few hundred yards nice and easy like that, rebuilding, reminding your body of what it's supposed to be doing before you can then tack on speed. Because if you just hop right into speed, and I see so many club teams where kids dive in and they are just gunning it like it's the main set. If you just fly into it like that, you're basically telling your body to just figure it out as it goes. And when that happens, your body will always take the easiest path. So you've got to rebuild good habits every day at the beginning of practice, and then build your heart rate from there. Oftentimes with club teams, there will be a pre-main set, and it looks something like 8 100s kick. Oftentimes that's it. 8 100s kick on 2 minutes, let's go. Sometimes it might be as crazy as descend 1 to 4 and 5 to 8. If you have done a ton of kick that week and your legs are shot and you know that the main set is going to be hard and you really want to be able to work on your tempo, let's say, okay, back off the kick. That's fine. You have to put your energy, you have to prioritize, where to put your energy, like that shotgun analogy. But if you are a bad kicker, or your team doesn't kick much, or you're a non-freestyler, and you know that your main set is going to be a lot of freestyle, and you want to get some breaststroke kick work in, dolphin kick work in, then you got to work that set. Main set. Let's look at a couple of examples there, starting with those 9/300s that I mentioned earlier. However they're done, best average all the way through or some kind of descend, whatever, you've got to look at it and figure out a way to make it work for you. If you are not a freestyler and you don't get to do a whole lot of freestyle, or you just want to work your stroke, what you can do is ask your coach, hey, can I go 75 free, 25 stroke, or 25 stroke, 75 free? If you have enough time in the interval to work in stroke, or maybe it's 50 free, 50 stroke, that kind of thing, and work the heck out of the stroke parts and use the freestyle stuff as active recovery. If the interval is so tight that you know it's going to be a little bit touch and go, then you've got to set some goals for yourself to make it applicable to what you need. If you're a backstroker or a butterflyer, you want to try and hit some dolphin kicks off those walls, a set number each time. If you never do dolphin kicks on that kind of a freestyle set and it's just push and swim, then your first step is one dolphin kick. That's an obvious application to fly and back, but it also helps with breaststroke. So many breaststrokers have a hard time holding their pullouts and taking full advantage of them, in part because they get really hypoxic and they run out of air, and so they cut it short and they come up and they start swimming. Same deal, work your underwaters on this. Yeah, it's not actually swimming breaststroke, but it'll help. Here's another one. Multiple rounds of, say, a 400 on a decent interval, let's say 6 minutes, followed by 4 100s on a pretty quick interval, like a minute or 110. And as you go through the rounds of that, the interval on the 400 may decrease such that by the last round, you're doing like a 400 on 4 minutes, followed by 4 100s on a minute each. And so you're effectively doing an 800 on 8 minutes. A lot of fun, I know. If you're a distance swimmer, great, that's right up your alley. But what do you do if you're a sprinter? It's not exactly an ideal set for a sprinter, right? Well, if it was me, this is what I would do. 400 would be more technical, making sure my stroke is right, just making the interval. Kind of active recovery. On the hundreds, I would try to make those intervals by focusing on the underwaters, the breakouts, and the first couple of strokes, meaning 3 to 4 dolphin kicks off every wall, progressing from big and powerful to small, quick, going to the breakout. A kick-driven breakout, meaning the first thing somebody on deck sees is your flutter kick, churning up that white water, followed then by your head and arms. Couple strokes, very strong, and then kind of shut it down for the rest of the length. For a sprinter especially, those walls, underwaters, breakouts are everything. You have very little room for error on those. So they need to be great. It's a great opportunity to practice those. Let's do one more. Let's say you get the following IM set. You start off with 100 IM. And from there, you keep tacking on a 25 every time you go through it, and eventually getting up to a 400 IM. So it goes fly back, breast free, then fly back, breast free, free, fly back, breast, free, free, fly back, breast, free, free. You see where I'm going with this, all the way up to a 400. I know, I'm bored just saying it, but this is a very common set. And so how do you manage this kind of set? And you're probably going, oh, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, work the turns in the underwaters. Kind of, sort of. Some people are wired to do this kind of set mentally and physically and be strong on it throughout. I think it's a very, very tiny minority. I had to do this set once, and I consider myself pretty tough. In case you're wondering, it's over 3,000 worth of IM, 3,250 to be exact. And it's very hard for most people to work, even if they mentally can keep their focus on that. It's really hard to physically work every single 25 underwater, have aggressive fly and breaststroke, have good tempo, backstroke, freestyle for a 3,250 IM. So what do? Well, here's my recommendation. Break it up so that you alternate your focus by rounds. Starting with the 100 IM, you start by focusing on fly and breaststroke. They're complementary to each other, short axis strokes. And yes, working the underwaters, working the pull out, being aggressive, but not high tempo, being aggressive on your strokes, a little more distance per stroke, especially on breaststroke. And then on backstroke and freestyle, you use it as a little bit more active recovery. Then on the 125, you focus on backstroke and freestyle. Yes, great underwaters again, really good tempo, but then backing off of butterfly and breaststroke. And you may be thinking, well, I don't know, that sounds kind of weak. You're kind of dodging the set. Okay. But if in this example, the alternative, the options are just do the whole thing kind of half-assed, or to do half of it really sharp, really clean, and have, be able to work half of it so well that you actually benefit in the long run from it. I don't know. The answer seems pretty obvious to me. Let's do half of it really, really well. So anyway, those are my thoughts on some fairly common types of sets that you see on teams. I hope it helps you if you are somebody who struggles figuring out how to make sets that don't really apply to you. I have sectionals in just 2 days, starting on Friday with the 200 breast, then 100 breast on Saturday. I am very excited right now. I'm feeling very good. Feeling like I got some best times coming, so fingers crossed. I will keep you posted with a new video next week. Until then, good luck, swim different.